Hello, and welcome to Craft and Give Back. This is a monthly program where we do a DIY craft together and then we donate our made items to somewhere in the community or the country or even the world who might need it. This month we're doing a very fun craft. We are making slipper socks. These are socks with grips on the bottom so that the users, usually seniors in nursing homes or hospital patients, don't slip and fall while they're walking through hallways. We are going to be using, and these should be all in your kit, a pair of socks. You'll find either a pair of black socks or white socks, and some puffy paint. You'll also want a couple of pieces of paper from home, both for kind of blotting purposes, as well as to test out your puffy paint on. I've used regular notebook paper, and I have two pieces that are folded the long way, so I folded them like this, and those will actually be going inside the socks to prevent any leaking through to the top layer. And then I just have a folded up half sheet of paper to test out my puffy paint skills on. So the first thing you want to do is prep your socks. So unroll your socks, flatten them out. What I mean by flatten is instead of like this, which is the way that most socks kind of lay, we want to flatten them out so we can see the clear top and bottom. On the white socks, you'll be able to tell where the bottom is because there's kind of a gray block on the bottom. With the black socks, it'll be a little harder, but you will see the word Hanes on the bottom where the toes are. So you'll want to flatten those out as best you can. And it's okay if they're not totally perfect. We just want most of the bottom visible because that's where we're going to paint. So we want those bottom side up. Next, we want to prep them with paper. The reason that we're doing this is because if we just go ahead and paint straight onto the sock, it might seep through to the top of the sock and glue it closed, and then no one can get their foot in. So take your half long sheet, make another little fold, about 2 inches or so, no more than that, up from the bottom like that. Then you want to put that into the sock. So we'll go ahead and wiggle in there with our hands and get the paper in there. You want the top of the paper, that folded line you created, right where it says Hanes. So my paper starts right above the word Hanes. And then I'm going to go ahead and grip and pull my hand right out. Woohoo! And there we go. We have paper inside of our socks to prevent any paint from moving through. You'll want to do that with both socks. So again, you'll fold up about 2 inches or so. On my lined paper, that's about 2.5 lines plus that little top bit there. Go ahead and insert the paper into the sock to prevent any designs from moving to the top of the sock. And then voila, our socks are ready to go. If you need to adjust that you've got the full bottom of the sock there, that's absolutely fine. There we go. So I've got my socks ready, but I'm not ready to start painting them just yet. I really want to make sure that I know how to use my puffy paint. So go ahead and take the top off. It should be ready to go, but make sure that you can see that it's ready to go. Give it a nice shake, squeeze the air out a little bit, and then practice drawing straight lines or dots all in a row. And you want to draw them nice and thick. This is puffy paint, but we really do want to make sure it's nice and blobby because that blobby 3D paint is what's going to grip the floor and prevent falling. So I'm going to practice drawing a bunch of dots. I think that's easier than drawing straight lines. I'll also draw a straight line. And again, it's a little messy, but the point is just for it to be a nice grippy line. So I've drawn, it looks like my practice lines are about the same size as the sock. And I've done 2 practice lines and 2 practice rows of dots. I don't want to do too much because I do want to make sure that there's enough in the bottle for both socks. But I've gone ahead and tested. It looks like I've got pretty good hand control with the bottle, and they're coming out nice and thick, which is exactly what we want. So next up, we move to the socks themselves. So starting right below the word Hanes, we're going to go ahead and start drawing either those rows of dots or those lines. If you really want to get creative and make yours little stars or hearts or anything else you want, go right ahead. The dots and lines will be just fine. I'm going to go ahead and do dots. And it looks like I've got about 7 to 9 dots making a full row here. And then if I wanted to do a line, again, you want to leave a little space on each side. Just draw a nice thick line. So let me hold up my sock to show what I've got here. So this is what a row of dots look like, and that's what a straight line looks like. Don't do what I did and lift it up. You want to make sure these stay as flat as possible until they're dry. So go ahead and do both socks with either the dots, the lines, whatever designs you like, so long as the whole bottom of the sock is covered. You want to go until this seam right here, you can kind of see it right here, where the bottom of the sock turns at the heel and becomes the ankle of the sock. That way the whole bottom from kind of where your toes end to the back of your heel is totally covered. Once you've done that, you want to set these aside to dry in a cool, dry place. And this is very important. We want to let these dry for up to 48 hours or more. I did a test run a few days ago. I will show you my final socks. Here they are. They're a little messy. You can actually see where at 24 hours, it's on this sock here, I tried touching it and it still wasn't dry and I picked up some of the paint. So because we're drawing really thick dots and lines on here that will grip the floor as you walk, you can kind of hear it sticking to the table a little bit. We really need to give it time to dry. So at least 48 hours, that is 2 whole days. So if you're painting this on Sunday at 2 p.m., like our usual time, then you want to wait till at least Tuesday at 2 p.m. to even test these to make sure that they are fully dry. And I recommend that when you do go in to test them, just dab really lightly. And if it doesn't come up, then try pressing a little bit harder. Don't go ahead and put them straight on and start walking around the house. Just want to make sure that to the touch, they're mostly dry, or rather completely dry. Once they're fully dry and you're confident they're not going to spread everywhere, make a mess, then you can bring them back to the library for donation. We'll be taking them at the Youth Services Desk at the Winnetka Library for the next month or so until our next Craft and Give Back event. So bring them in and tell whoever's at the desk that this is your Craft and Give Back donation, and we'll take them off your hands and make one big donation to local nursing homes and senior centers of all of our socks together. If we get any feedback, I'll be happy to share it with you guys on behalf of the groups that we've donated to. And thank you so much for participating in Craft and Give Back. I know that our crafts do mean a lot to the community that we share with and the groups that we donate to. And it's so great to see our community coming together and doing something so wonderful. We'll see you again next month with a fun new craft. Bye.